show you how to do an unknown analysis of a salt. Means one unknown sample will be given to you. Unknown sample will be given to you, and you have to analyze, and then you have to find out which cation and which anions are present. At first, after getting the salt, what you have to do, there will be a numbering obviously will be there. That sample number you have to note in your notebook. Then after that you have to do what you have to do, you have to study the physical characteristics. Just like see, I have got this salt. Suppose I have got this salt, and after that what I have to do, I have to study the physical characteristics. Physical characteristics means, first of all, that state of the salt. Just like see, the state of the salt is solid, and then we have to see the color of the salt also white. Then we have to test the texture. By taking in hand, I can feel that it is a crystalline salt. Okay, then we have to check the solubility, whether it is water soluble or not. So let us take some amount here in the test tube, and after that I am adding some water here, adequate amount of water. So in adequate amount of water, after addition this one, we have to see that whether it is soluble or not, it's get dissolved or not. Okay, and we have to shake it first. Yes, it's soluble. It's soluble in water. It gives a clear solution. It gives a clear solution here. That means it is water soluble salt. You have got this one. After this one, what you have to do? After that means in under physical characteristics, what you have to test? First of all, state is a solid, and color is a white, and you can test the order also, order of the salt. That order of the salt, actually there is no specific order. That means orderless it will be, and solubility. After testing this much, next what we have to do? We have to heat it in a dry test tube. And I have showed in the earlier video how to dry the test tube. Just move it with the flame, then you will get the dry test tube here. After this dry test tube, getting the dry test tube, what we have to do? We have to take some amount of the given salt in the test tube. Okay, I have taken here. Then heat it and observe the observation. Let me heat it strongly. That means crystal is breaking here. Okay, we are seeing some changes on strong heating. What changes are coming? You see that the residue become orange. Residue become orange in color. On heating, the residue is becoming orange. That means on dry test tube heating only we have got the indication that orange residue means obviously maybe there is the Pb2 plus present in your sample. Okay, Pb2 plus cation may be present in your sample. Now, second thing, what we have to do? We have to take here the sample once again in a dry test tube. That means the cationic part what may be present, that we have got here. Now for anionic part, we will be giving here the sample as well as the, let me take the sample here, and then we will be adding here sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay. But no Rottenex males are coming. And this sulfide 2 minus is absent. Next, what we will be doing here, we will be taking here manganese dioxide and we will be heating this one. Manganese dioxide. Manganese dioxide black in color. So this is the manganese dioxide. Okay, and then heat it again and see the changes what happened there. No changes are coming. No greenish yellow color is evolving here. So we have to keep it over there. Okay, no greenish yellow color gas is evolving. After that, what we will be doing? Again, we will be taking the sample here in a test tube. Okay, and then we will be taking copper. That means we are moving to do the test for nitrate. Let me add 1 or 2 copper turnings, and again we will be giving here the sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid. Here we have to be very careful while you will be using this one. Okay, so let me take it here, and then we will be heating this one. On heating, if there is the nitrate, then obviously there will be brown fumes will be evolving. Let me heat it. Yes, from inside the test tube you see that the brown gases or brown fumes are coming out. You can see that inside the test tube there is the brown fumes. So that means there is the NO3 minus or nitrate present in your sample that we made and get it. Now we have to throw it because we have taken the sulfuric acid here. Let me throw it here. Okay. Afterwards, we will be moving for dry test for wet test for or the confirmatory test for the acid radical first. Confirmatory test for acid radical. And wet test for the nitrate first we will be doing. And wet test for the nitrate, it involves various steps. Just like see, first we have to prepare here ferrous sulfate solution. Okay, let me take water and the ferrous sulfate also. Ferrous sulfate, green in color. Ferrous sulfate I have taken some amount, and after that I have to add water here, so it will be ferrous sulfate solution, freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. Now in a test tube I have to take sample and then I have to make solution first. Okay, I have taken sample here and I will be adding water, few drops, and after this one then I have to add few drops of ferrous sulfate. Let me dissolve it first. Dissolve it first. Okay. Dissolve it first. Okay. Then let me keep it, and after that I will be adding what? freshly prepared ferrous sulfate. Okay, I have added freshly prepared ferrous sulfate here. Now what I shall do, I shall be taking a sulfuric acid in another test tube. Sulfuric acid, very carefully I have to take it in another test tube. Okay, then ferrous sulfate. Then slowly I have to add it here, and at the junction of the two liquid a brown ring will appear. Slowly, without shaking the hand. Okay, now look at the junction of these two liquids. Junction of these two liquids, there occurs a brown ring. At the junction of the two liquid, brown rings forms. So as the brown ring forms, so it confirms here the NO3 minus is present. Now only the thing left here, that we have to test for cationic part, Pb2 plus. Okay, Pb2 plus. Now see, I am adding water. On adding water here, it will be soluble. Okay, then what we have to do, we have to add dilute hydrochloric acid. Let me take some hydrochloric acid first. Dilute hydrochloric acid, I have brought it here. Then at first we have to take water, and then put it some amount of the acid. Slowly you have to work hard here. Okay, hydrochloric acid. Okay, I have made it dilute. After that I will be adding here. Dilute hydrochloric acid is added and the white precipitate is coming. Also see that the white precipitate is coming. Then what we will be doing after this one, we will be adding here little bit water, little amount of more water here. Then we will be heating this one, and heating has to be done very carefully so that the precipitate will get dissolved. It's getting dissolved. Because lead compound is hot water soluble, completely soluble in hot water. Yes. Now, after dissolving it, we have to separate. We have to divide it into two test tubes. Let me divide it here, and let me keep it there. And afterwards, what we will be doing? We will be adding potassium chromate in one test tube and one test tube potassium iodide. Let me take potassium chromate here in this test tube. Let me see what changes are coming. So see that a bright yellow precipitate will be observed. Now, in another test tube, we will be adding here what? Potassium iodide. Potassium iodide there, so that it will give a yellow precipitate here also. Now again see, after this one, if we heat this one, this yellow precipitate will get dissolved. Okay, now bring it here, and after that I will be adding water. Again the crystal will react here, and the water has to be added like this, and it will take time. Yes, you see that the yellow color or the glittering yellow color lead iodide